Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Success Builders. Today we have with us Lucy Dutton. How are you doing, Lucy?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking, Ricardo.
Great, thanks for coming on the show. Very nice to have you. So where in the world are you calling from?
From the UK.
Oh, fantastic. So like you're on the other side of the world to me, especially time zone wise. Like for me, it's morning, for you it's evening. It's pretty crazy. Luckily, we managed to find that sweet spot where we both could be online, so that's amazing. So I understand that you're a holistic peak performance coach. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So um, we will find out very shortly what that actually means. But before we do that, let's go through your journey on how you became a holistic peak performance coach. Just take us through that. Take us back and take us on a storytelling journey.
I'd love to do that. So I guess the peak performance side started right at the beginning of my journey. And I didn't realize this, obviously, it builds up over time. But I started as a dancer and I went to a college for 3 years studying dance and drama and singing, all the things. And then I was a professional dancer for 10 years. Plus, I had also got four different teaching qualifications within dance. So I was a teacher as well as being very disciplined as a dancer. You have to be very disciplined in what you're doing, the way you show up, what you're doing, how you're doing it. And it's very precise. They want you to be very precise when you're taking exams and going through the examinations. And so after the 10 years, I then went into work in London at a natural health centre part time. And I was there for about 6 years. So I was very much still within the health side of things. So one of the ladies there introduced me to a health and nutrition company, which I then got into and I've been with them for, gosh, 27 years, I think now. And so that was another piece of it. And then I got to a stage where I thought, I'm coaching, I'm mentoring, I'm doing the health and fitness, which I absolutely love. And I feel like I can do more with the coaching side. So I kind of looked around and I thought, I just don't want to be a coach. I want to be something that's really specific, that really speaks to my heart. And I heard about a training that was coming up around peak performance and peak performance coaching. And everything I heard about it was like, that's me. I do that already. That's the way I've been trained. And it was like my whole life was coming together to be able to go and grasp this. So that's why the peak performance side and holistic, because I'm very much everything affects everything else, your mind, your body, your spirit and being in alignment. So that's why that piece was really important to me, Ricardo, because that piece of alignment was just a missing piece in what I was doing. I wasn't in total alignment. And when I found this to do, it was like, yeah, this is my thing. This is what I've been doing, and I absolutely love it.
That's such an amazing story. And it's really good when we find something that we are passionate about and something that aligns with us to our core. I mean, that is what I think everyone strives to do. And there's a lot of stuck people nowadays who are stuck in jobs they don't like and stuck in just situations that don't align with who they really are. Um, so tell us a bit about what actually being a holistic peak performance coach is about and who it's for. Like, is it for athletes? Is it for business professionals? You know, give us some insights as to what it is.
Okay, so first of all, being a peak performer, you can be a peak performer across any. So if you're an athlete, if you're working for yourself, if you've got a business, you can become a peak performer yourself. The people that I work with are mainly women. They're entrepreneurs and they're service based and they're into the holistic side of things. So they're the people that I generally work with. And peak performance is making steps and strategies so that you are showing up at your best. So it's making sure, I always say elimination is one of the very first things. rather than adding anything in. It's like, what do I need to eliminate? What is not necessary in my business or in my world that I'm doing, that I'm not that thing that I really want to get the peak performance in, which is probably my business if you're an entrepreneur, right? If I'm not getting there and all of these bits and pieces are getting in my way, how do I eliminate those things, delegate, delete, shift, never do again, and do more of what I love doing and where I'm standing in my power? So it's those things that people can't generally see for themselves. And even if they can see it, Ricardo, it's like they don't do something about it because oftentimes people need their hand holding to be able to take them through the action of elimination. And then another side of it is being really, really clear on what your goals are. Because if you've got clarity, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, once you've got clarity and you know what direction you're heading in, and you set your goals in line with that clear vision, then it's so much easier to say no to something that's not going to serve you and yes to only the things that are. So there are a couple of the things that I pull in. There are many more, but there are a couple of the things. That's what peak performance is, reaching your highest level within yourself. And I like to look at it as business as well as your personal life because they are transferable skills.
Fantastic. Now that's sounds like definitely a very valuable service, especially if you want to up your own professional game and be more effective out there. Because today I think a lot of people are suffering from burnout and overwhelm and all sorts of um, issues like that. So definitely it helps to have someone there to help them through the steps. Um, it was told to me once that um, there's this bit of an analogy of that we're inside a jar and we need someone on the outside of the jar to read the instructions to us. We can't see them from the inside. So that's what the purpose of a coach is to read the instructions to us. And that's what I think you do in terms of helping people to find those things that they need to delete from their lives and to improve. Yeah, no, that's amazing. So you said that you focus a lot on service-based women. What do you mean by service-based? Is that like military service? Is it like nursing service? What does that mean exactly?
Oh, they're serving people. They want to impact lives. So no, not necessarily military because they're entrepreneurs. So it's a business where they are serving others rather than making widgets. So it's not a widget-based business.
Right, right, right. So like
It's
not
not an
manufacturing or
e-com.
anything like that. Yeah, yeah.
It's
Okay,
not
got it.
e-commerce generally, right? I can still serve those people, but the ones that I understand the most are the ones that are serving other people and helping them on whatever level they're doing it, because that's what I do. And I think if I, the way that I know I can help other people the most is because of the experiences that I've been through and because of who I am and the value that I bring and the values that I have as well, actually. So being in line with my clients and them being in line with me is also really important because you can come across coaches and you can think, wow, they're amazing. They help somebody to do this, and I'm going to speak to them. And then you speak with them, and it's like, oh, something doesn't feel quite right. And that's okay. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's all right. And but I will be somebody's cup of tea. And then they'll go, that's it. I just want you to be my coach. And when that happens, that's a magical thing there because when the student is in line with the coach, everything unfolds easily rather than being more of a struggle. And that's not the way it should be.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for the explanation. And I'm going to throw you a bit of a curveball question. Um, so I'm going to ask you, what are some of the challenges that you face in your line of business?
Visibility is one of them because there are a lot of coaches out there. Doesn't mean they're all good, but there are a lot. And discerning which coach looking at from the other side, right, which coach is right for me? Is it a life coach? Is it a peak performance coach? Is it a mindset coach? Is it, there are so many different titles that people have, and it's for them to then uncover, but they need to see you first, right? So it's making sure that not only that you're seen and you're seen in the right way, that also bringing my people to me. So I'm not just going out and saying, this is what I do, come and buy my stuff. I want to say, this is who I am. These are my values. These are the things that I do. These are the things I enjoy. This is the kind of person I am, so that people come to me. So getting that visibility in a market that is saturated, and getting the visibility online is another thing completely to offline, right? So I think challenges would be that visibility, and also just connecting with the right people and having the right conversations. And when one overcomes those challenges, and it's just about having more conversations and being very consistent about showing up and being who I am, which is easy because I am who I am, right?
That's perfect. That's a very good way to put it. You couldn't be anyone else. And hopefully, this show will um, help you with some of those challenges, give you a little bit of visibility. We'll include all your links in the description so that the viewers can get in touch with you and have access to your amazing services. Right. And speaking of, w would you walk us through like what a typical engagement looks like? Like how long it typically is it online, is it offline, and what one can expect, when having sessions with you.
Okay, great question. So they're mainly online because it's easy and because clients come in from all over the world. And there's a 7-step system that I take people through. And it goes through from things like vision and goals and environment, mindset, emotions. So there are 7 of those elements. And then I very much personalize it to whomever I'm speaking to, generally over 6 months, but then they can do another 6 months if they feel that that's the right thing for them. But also, when they have something very specific that they need, we dig down deeper on that. So it's very much personalized to their situation, to their personality, to who they are and what their needs are. But the steps are all there in place to be able to take them through that transition from where they are now to where they want to be. Because, like you said, a lot of people are in overwhelm or burnout, and they want to get unstuck from that place, and they just want to go, I want to have twice as much impact, and I want to make twice as much money. Now, I don't teach them how to make as much money, twice as much money, but with the strategies that they get taught, that is the kind of thing that happens.
Fantastic. That's an excellent overview. So, my next question to you is, in the context of your professional career, what does 2025 look like for you?
Mm. It's really strange you should ask me that question. I have just literally come off a call with my coach. So coaches need coaches. Everybody needs a coach, right? And the thing that we were doing on that call was visualizing 12 months from now. So what we want 2025 to look like. So
Well, interesting.
were
There we go.
you were
Spot
you
on.
earwigging?
Maybe, maybe. I've got spies everywhere. Don't worry.
Yeah. So yeah, in my mind with my vision, 2025 is going to be the best year yet for me. And it is going to be the best year yet for the number of people that I can impact. And I have that number written down. I'm not going to share it because that's my vision and the way that that's going to work. So there are going to be some one-to-ones, but there's also going to be some group calls. And towards the end of the year, my plan is to have a 3-day live event. So actually face to face, heart to heart, all of that, and bring those people together to meet and to have the experience over 3 days, which will be awesome.
That sounds amazing. And I'm sure you will achieve all of that and more. Um, yeah, so you know, I do really encourage the audience to, if anyone is feeling that they need some assistance in their life, that they're feeling stuck, that they're feeling like things aren't progressing, and just don't feel like that better version of themselves like they should be, to reach out to Lucy on all the details that we will provide. And she will um, hold your hand through the process and help you through everything. I think that she's a great person from what I've seen here today, and she definitely seems like someone that can help. So, Lucy, I'm going to ask you before we wrap up our interview, do you have any final words or value or advice you would like to leave with the audience?
I would love to say one thing about the getting unstuck thing and being stuck thing that we've touched on a couple of times is that it can be something that is an emotional in your nervous system kind of stuck, right? And it's come through from an experience that you've had maybe years ago, maybe even as a child. Maybe it's even generational. So it's come through the generations. So you don't even know what it is that's keeping you stuck. You're just acting in a way, in a recurring way, that is keeping you stuck. Because if you're going around in circles, you're stuck, right? And so there's something that I add in as a bonus with my calls, my one-to-one calls, which is called TMRT. And that's trauma memory release technique. And it is something where you have the memory, even if it is just a feeling of a memory, right? If it's come from generational stuff. And we work with that memory and the feeling of the memory. And we work in a way, and this is scientifically backed, and it's a system that I was taught by the founder of this system. And we kind of jiggle up how it came into being. So through your five senses, you will have had this experience. But when you have TMRT, you kind of mess up how it came into your senses. So you can never feel the same way you felt about it when it first happened. And so, although you still have the memory, Ricardo, you don't have the feelings about it. And however hard you try to bring back those feelings of disappointment or sadness or anger or regret or whatever those feelings were, you can't. And it literally takes between 1 and 6 sessions to get this sorted out. And that can be the unsticking of the stuckness. And so that there is the magic piece that you're not going to find in with many other coaches. And that is transformational. So yes,
So cool.
I would say if that's the one thing I can suggest to people, if you feel like you've gone through coaches before and it's still not quite moving the way that you want to, then there needs to be a different element in there. And if that sounds like the different element that you need, then we can have a call. I offer a call for an hour to go through what somebody is stuck with, what their vision is. And then after that hour, we talk about the possibility of working together if we feel like we're a fit.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that final piece of value. And you know, it gives it actually creates space for the audience to reach out to you and help them get unstuck from their generational tar pit. And I think that's what the TMRT really does. I didn't actually think about it that way, that some of the problems can stem, from our forefathers, our ancestors, and things like that. Things that are passed down generation to generation, certain fears, certain limiting beliefs, worker mindset, all sorts of things like that can really impact us that we don't even realize that it just came from the previous generations. So that's really
Mm.
powerful. And thank you so much for being on the show today and being so close to Christmas. I wish you a lovely holidays and a happy New Year. And looking
And
forward
to
to
you.
seeing, thank you, and looking forward to seeing you really blossom in 2025. So
Thank you so much.
absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you. And to the audience, remember what we always say at the end of every one of our shows. Don't forget to dream big and build bigger. Until next time. Bye.